A warm welcome to all our viewers. I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra and you're watching another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. India and Vietnam have elevated their bilateral ties to an enhanced comprehensive strategic partnership during the high-level visit of Vietnamese leader Tu Lam, marking a major step forward in the growing strategic and economic partnership between the two countries. The visit underscored the deepening convergence between New Delhi and Hanoi in the Indo-Pacific region, with both sides expanding cooperation in defense, trade, maritime security, critical minerals, digital connectivity, and resilient supply chains.
India and Vietnam share a time-tested partnership rooted in civilization links, economic cooperation, and a shared vision for a free, open, and inclusive Indo-Pacific. Over the last decade, ties between the two countries have steadily expanded across defense, energy, connectivity, trade, and people-to-people exchanges. Marking 10 years of their comprehensive strategic partnership, Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Vietnamese President Tu Lam held wide-ranging talks in New Delhi and announced the elevation of bilateral ties to an enhanced comprehensive strategic partnership. Both leaders agreed to significantly scale up economic engagement and set an ambitious bilateral trade target of $25 billion by 2030. Current trade between the two countries has already crossed $16 billion. The two sides also signed several agreements covering critical minerals, rare earths, digital payments, banking, tourism, pharmaceuticals, and cultural cooperation.
भारत और वियतनाम का बायलैटरल ट्रेड पिछले एक दशक में डबल होकर $16 बिलियन तक पहुंच चुका है। 2030 तक इसे $25 बिलियन तक पहुंचाने के लिए हमने आज कई महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय लिए हैं। क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स, रेयर अर्थ और एनर्जी सहयोग में नई पहलों से हम दोनों देशों की इकोनॉमिक सिक्योरिटी और सप्लाई चेन रेजिलियंस सुनिश्चित करेंगे।
The discussions reflected a strong commitment by both nations to deepen political trust and strengthen strategic coordination in an increasingly complex geopolitical environment. Vietnamese President Tu Lam emphasized that defense and security cooperation would emerge as a key pillar of the expanded partnership. India and Vietnam additionally reaffirmed their commitment to maintaining peace, stability, and freedom of navigation in the Indo-Pacific region amid rising strategic competition in regional waters.
Hai bên nhất trí tiếp tục làm sâu sắc hơn nữa tin cậy chính trị, tăng cường cái tiếp xúc cấp cao và nâng cao cái hiệu quả của các cơ chế hợp tác hiện có. Thứ hai, nâng tầm hợp tác quốc phòng an ninh trở thành trụ cột chiến lược, góp phần củng cố môi trường hòa bình và ổn định. Thứ ba, là tạo các chuyển biến rõ nét hơn trong hợp tác về kinh tế, thương mại và đầu tư, thúc đẩy liên kết cái chuỗi cung ứng, tháo gỡ những cái rào cản và mở rộng thị trường cho nhau.
India considers Vietnam as a key strategic partner in Southeast Asia and a vital pillar of its Indo-Pacific vision. The expanding defense partnership between the two countries gains significance amid growing concerns over China's increasing assertiveness in the South China Sea. Defense cooperation, including discussions around the BrahMos missile system, also figured prominently during the talks, reflecting deepening strategic coordination between New Delhi and Hanoi.
On BrahMos, in this broad context, I want to broadly state that Vietnam is a very important partner for us in the Indo-Pacific, and all these areas that we cooperate in are based on the broad premise that a strong Vietnam will serve the cause of peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific. We do talk about a number of platforms, and the BrahMos platform is also one of them. And watch this space.
Economic engagement also received major momentum during the visit. President Olam attended the India-Vietnam Business Forum in Mumbai, where business leaders from both countries explored opportunities in information technology, automobiles, pharmaceuticals, aviation, logistics, tourism, agriculture, electronics, and medical equipment. With enhanced cooperation in defense, technology, trade and connectivity, the India-Vietnam partnership is now entering a new strategic phase, one aimed at boosting regional stability, strengthening supply chains, and creating new opportunities for growth across the Indo-Pacific region.
Moving on. The United States has announced the closure of its consulate in Peshawar, citing security concerns for its diplomatic personnel amid continuing instability in Pakistan's northwestern region. The decision marks a significant shift in Washington's diplomatic presence near the Afghanistan border, an area long affected by militancy and unrest. Take a look.
Pakistan's continuing failure to rein in terrorism and ensure security in its northwestern regions has once again come under global scrutiny following the decision to shut the US consulate in Peshawar. For years, the country has grappled with extremist violence, militant attacks, and repeated incidents targeting security forces, foreign missions, and civilians, raising serious concerns over the effectiveness of Pakistan's security and counter-terrorism framework. Regions bordering Afghanistan, particularly Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, have witnessed recurring terrorist activity and unrest, turning the area into a persistent security challenge for foreign governments and international organizations operating in Pakistan. Amid mounting security concerns, the United States announced the closure of its consulate in Peshawar, citing the safety of its diplomatic personnel. The decision marks a significant diplomatic shift in a strategically sensitive region long associated with militancy and instability. Washington said all diplomatic engagement related to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province will now be handled through the US Embassy in Islamabad. The move comes as Pakistan continues to face growing security threats, including militant attacks and violent protests targeting foreign interests, further damaging the country's international image and raising concerns over the safety of foreign personnel operating there.
यूएस कॉन्सुलेट सुनने में आया है कि सिक्योरिटी खदशात के पेश नज़र बंद किया गया है और ये है कि कॉन्सुलेट बंद होने से मेरे ख्याल में अच्छा मैसेज नहीं जा रहा, ये मैसेज अच्छा नहीं जाएगा और इससे इम्पैक्ट भी बुरा पड़ेगा। तो ये है कि यहाँ पे जो कॉन्सुलेट है उसके ज़ेर एहतमाम मुख्तलिफ़ कल्चरल एक्टिविटीज़ होती थी, एजुकेशनल एक्टिविटीज़ की जाती थी, सहाफ़ियों के लिए जो है सरगर्मियाँ की जाती थी। तो मैं तो ये समझता हूँ कि अच्छी बात नहीं है, अच्छा नहीं हुआ।
Pakistan's northwestern regions have remained vulnerable to security threats for years, with incidents of violence and unrest frequently reported near the Afghanistan border. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province, including Peshawar, has witnessed repeated attacks targeting security personnel, civilians, and public infrastructure, prompting authorities to maintain heightened security measures in the area. The volatile security environment has continued to pose challenges for foreign missions and international organizations operating in sensitive regions of the country. The evolving security situation has also kept concerns alive over the safety of diplomatic personnel and foreign interests in Pakistan.
जो यूएस कॉन्सुलेट की बंदिश का फैसला पेशावर में किया गया है, तो देखिए ये तो इंटरेस्ट की बात होती है। जब तक अमेरिका की बहुत ज़्यादा स्टेक्स ख़ुसूसी तौर पर हमारे कबायली अजला में और अफ़गानिस्तान में थे, तो उस वजह से यहाँ पर कॉन्सुलेट की उनको शायद ज़रूरत बहुत ज़्यादा हो रही थी, महसूस हो रही थी। तो इसलिए यहाँ पर एक्टिविटीज़ और यूएस कॉन्सुलेट जो है बहुत एक्टिव था। लेकिन रिसेंटली अगर देखा जाए तो जब से अफ़गानिस्तान से नेटो अफवाज का इनखला हुआ है और अमेरिकी अफवाज का इनखला हुआ है, तो अभी अमेरिकी इंटरेस्ट शायद उतना अफ़गानिस्तान में भी और कबायली अजला में भी जो है शायद ना हो, तो इसलिए उन्होंने ये बंदिश का फैसला किया है।
The closure of the consulate is expected to intensify international attention on Pakistan's security situation, especially in regions affected by violence and instability. The move reflects growing caution among foreign governments regarding the safety of diplomatic personnel in volatile areas and could influence how international missions operate in Pakistan going forward.
Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
US President Donald Trump told reporters that the United States is negotiating with Iran following a fresh exchange of fire between the two countries. Trump said that the ceasefire with Iran remained in effect, downplaying the latest exchange of fire between the US and Iranian forces at the Strait of Hormuz. Trump reiterated that Iran would not be allowed to obtain a nuclear weapon, saying there's zero chance, and they know that and they have agreed to that. Let's see if they are willing to sign it. US President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping are scheduled to meet in Beijing on May 14 to 15, 2026. The summit, which will be the first visit to China by an American president in nearly a decade, was originally planned for late March but was delayed due to ongoing conflict involving Iran. The meeting comes at a critical moment for global politics and the global economy. President Trump's priorities can be summed up as 3 T's: trade, Tehran, and Taiwan. On trade, Trump wants China to buy more US goods, with aviation and aircraft purchases reportedly under discussion. On Iran, he is expected to press China to do more behind the scenes to influence Tehran, particularly to help reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Taiwan is also likely to feature prominently along with other issues such as Hong Kong. Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. warned of mounting economic and security risks facing Southeast Asia, citing escalating tensions in the Middle East. Addressing leaders of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, Marcos Jr. called for an immediate cessation of hostilities, the peaceful settlement of disputes, protection of civilians and infrastructure, and the restoration of safe, unimpeded transit through the Strait of Hormuz. He urged stronger regional coordination to bolster energy security, stabilize supply, and accelerate the shift to renewable sources, while warning that disruptions linked to Hormuz had driven up fertilizer and food prices and underscored the need for coordinated action to safeguard supplies.
Amid escalating tensions in West Asia and growing global economic uncertainty, India has announced a major financial intervention to support vulnerable sectors. The Union Cabinet has approved a $1.9 billion emergency credit line guarantee scheme aimed at easing liquidity stress for MSMEs and the aviation industry. The initiative, backed by full and partial government credit guarantees, seeks to ensure continued access to bank lending, protect jobs, and strengthen business resilience as global supply chains face increasing disruption and volatility.
Tensions in West Asia, particularly the ongoing conflict involving Iran, continue to send ripple effects across global markets, raising concerns over energy security, trade stability, and inflation pressures. India, with its deep economic and energy linkages to the region, is closely watching the situation as disruptions begin to impact key industries and supply chains. India's Union Cabinet approved a major emergency credit guarantee scheme worth $1.9 billion to support businesses facing financial stress due to the ongoing crisis in West Asia. The new program, called the Emergency Credit Line Guarantee Scheme, is mainly designed to help micro, small and medium enterprises along with companies in the aviation sector. Under this scheme, eligible businesses will get extra loans from banks to manage short-term cash problems and continue their operations without disruption. Despite global headwinds, the move is expected to provide much-needed relief to businesses and strengthen confidence in India's economic resilience, offering a stabilizing push as the country navigates an uncertain external environment.
इस वेस्ट एशिया के कॉन्फ्लिक्ट के समय में हमारे जो एमएसएमईज और एविएशन सेक्टर को जो स्ट्रेस आया है, उस स्ट्रेस को सॉल्व करने के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एक स्कीम आज अप्रूव हुई है, ECLGS, इमरजेंसी क्रेडिट लाइन गारंटी. बेसिकली ये क्रेडिट गारंटी स्कीम है एक तरीके से, और ये मॉडल अगर आप देखें तो कोविड के समय से ये मॉडल स्थापित हुआ है, और इस मॉडल में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है कि मॉरल हैजार्ड नहीं रहता.
The scheme is designed to provide large-scale credit support to MSMEs and aviation sector, helping businesses manage liquidity pressures and sustain operations amid ongoing global uncertainties.
जो ECL GS 5 लाया गया है, ये इन सबसे बड़ा स्कीम है, क्योंकि यही टाइम है जब दुनिया भर में जब लोग ऑल्टरनेट सप्लाई चेन की तरफ अट्रैक्ट हो रहे हैं, तब हमारे एमएसएमईज और हमारे एक्सपोर्टर्स को, हमारे मैन्युफैक्चरर्स को एक अगर स्ट्रॉन्ग सपोर्ट मिल जाए तो वो लोग बहुत स्ट्रांगली अपने आप को दुनिया भर में स्टैब्लिश कर लेंगे। ये सब सोच के इस स्कीम को इतना बड़ा बनाया गया है। टोटल सपोर्ट इसमें 2,55,000 2,55,000 करोड़ रुपीस का टोटल सपोर्ट मिलेगा, विच इज़ ह्यूज, विच इज़ अ वेरी लार्ज नंबर। इस स्कीम में जो कॉस्ट आएगी, बिकॉज दिस विल बी बेसिकली credit from the banking sector to the MSMEs and aviation sector. बैंक्स जो क्रेडिट देंगे वो ये अमाउंट है, और 18,000 करोड़ रुपीस गवर्नमेंट का टोटल आउटले लगेगा। उसकी जो कॉस्ट आती है, क्रेडिट को गारंटी करने की जो कॉस्ट आती है, वो अमाउंट है 18,000।
With global tensions continuing to unsettle markets, India's move is being seen as a timely buffer for vulnerable sectors. As uncertainty persists in West Asia, policymakers are betting on targeted financial support to keep growth momentum steady and protect jobs across key industries.
From the iconic blue lanes of Jodhpur, where tradition paints the city in a striking identity, to the dynamic streets of Delhi, where walls come alive with bold artistic expression, India's urban landscapes are redefining creativity. Blending heritage with modern storytelling, these vibrant spaces are capturing global attention and showcasing art as a powerful voice of culture and change. Walking through the lanes of Jodhpur feels like stepping inside a painting. Blue-washed houses, winding narrow streets, and walls adorned with traditional art create a scene that's both timeless and alive. Every turn reveals a new frame, every wall tells a different story. It's no surprise that travelers from India and around the world don't just come here to see the city, they come to truly experience it.
I saw a lot of animals, a lot of symbols of India, a lot of cultural designs, and I really like it. And I think it fits perfectly with the blue color.
I like how they depict history. They're not just random pictures. They depict the history of Jodhpur, and it's fascinating history to me that I would never know otherwise. So when I walk the city streets, I can see the history of your city right there on the walls. I don't have to go to libraries or museums. It's right there for me.
Interestingly, Jodhpur's blue houses began as a practical choice. The color was believed to keep homes cool, repel insects, and was once linked to Brahmin identity and devotion to Lord Shiva. But over time, this tradition has taken on a new life. Today, these blue lanes have become a global visual icon, especially in the age of social media. Old homes are now turning into cafes, handicraft shops, and art spaces, creating new opportunities for locals. In many ways, a single color has connected tradition with tourism and tourism with livelihoods.
टूरिस्ट बहुत ज़्यादा आते हैं, और यहाँ पे जो इंडियन जो खुद का यहाँ का राजस्थान है, जोधपुर के जो शूटर जब शूट कराते हैं वो खुद भी यहाँ पे आके ना बहुत ज़्यादा शूट करवाते हैं अपने यहाँ पे, ताकि है ना उनको एक ऐसी मतलब आगे ऐसे मतलब वो फेमस हो सके, और आगे ना लोगों को भी बता सके कि है ना यहाँ की जो लोकेशन है, जो भी यहाँ का ब्लू पेंट है, वो सब है ना लोग जाके देख सके.
To preserve this unique identity, the Jodhpur Municipal Corporation is actively working to protect and maintain the blue heritage of the old city. Several initiatives are underway to restore and enhance these historic lanes. As a result, Jodhpur's iconic blue streets continue to seamlessly connect history, culture, and tourism, keeping the city's timeless charm alive. Jodhpur's blue lanes celebrate the beauty of tradition, but Step into the streets of Delhi and you will discover a completely different expression. These young artists have taken art beyond galleries and onto the streets of Delhi. Meet Akbar, better known as Art Akbar. With a brush in hand, he turns ordinary walls into a vibrant open-air gallery. For artists like him, every wall is a canvas and every stroke tells a story, bold, modern and full of meaning.
एज एन आर्टिस्ट आपका माइंड ना बाउंडेशन में नहीं रहता. हम चाहे वो ब्लैंक चीज़ हो, चाहे ब्लैक हो, चाहे कोई भी कलर हो, उन कलरों में ना हम दूसरे कलर अपने आप ऑब्जर्व, हमारी आंखें ऐसे ना, हम ब्लैंक चीज़ में भी ना इतने सारे कलर देख पाते हैं. अभी के टाइम पे क्या है ना, म्यूरल ट्रेंड पे हो गया है, तो आप कहीं भी जाओ ना, एक दिल्ली की एक अलग ही ब्यूटी और वाइब आने लगी है.
Street art and crafty are rapidly transforming Delhi's urban landscape. What was once defined global cities is now reshaping India's own identity. These vibrant walls don't just blend into the background, they make people stop, look and engage. From admiring the art to capturing and sharing it, the experience has become a major draw for international visitors as well.
आप जब भी किसी आर्ट फॉर्म को देखते हो तो इट्स अबाउट कनेक्टिंग थ्रू इट. आप उससे कितना एक्सप्रेस कर सकते हो, आप कौन से अलग अलग चीज़ों को महसूस कर सकते हो. एंड अभी हम AI और ChatGPT के उसमें जी रहे हैं, तो ऐसी आर्ट फॉर्म्स को स्टिल देखना बहुत अच्छा लगता है.
आजकल लोग ज़्यादा फ़ोन यूज़ करते हैं, ठीक है. अगर उनको थोड़ा भी टाइम मिलता है तो लोग फ़ोन यूज़ करते हैं, दैन वो अपने आर्ट को वीडियो रील के अकॉर्डिंग बनाते हैं, दैन वो शेयर करते हैं.
From Jodhpur's traditional blue walls to Delhi's bold crafty, one message stands out. When art moves to the streets, it transforms the city. These walls are no longer just brick and cement. They have become identity, expression and opportunity, especially for the youth. In a changing India, sometimes tradition paints the city and sometimes young artists paint the future. From heritage blues to bold murals, India paints its stories proudly. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.